You're a fool chasing luxury while the real rich are stacking cash. You're not winning, you're their puppet. You're caught up in the illusion, aren't you? You're drowning in this fantasy that luxury equals wealth, that designer clothes and flashy cars mean you've made it. But let me tell you something, the rich don't care about looking rich. They care about staying rich. And you're falling into their trap, playing the game they want you to play. You see all these guys flaunting their luxury watches, their fancy cars, their designer suits, and you think that's the life you want. But here's the reality, they're broke, they're pretending, they're living in debt. Drowning in credit card bills just to look rich, and you're falling for it. You scroll through social media, and it's a parade of rented Lamborghinis, borrowed yachts, and leased penthouses. But what you don't see are the overdraft notices, the debt collectors banging on the door, the anxiety they feel every time the phone rings. They're living for the likes and the comments while their bank accounts are screaming for help. And you're sitting there, watching, thinking that's what success looks like. You think luxury is a sign of success, but it's a sign of weakness. Real wealth isn't what you can show off, it's what you can hide. It's the money sitting quietly in the bank, the assets that nobody sees, the investments that grow while everyone else is busy trying to impress people who don't matter. It's not the guy who's flashing his Rolex on Instagram, it's the guy who owns the building that Rolex store is renting space from. But you don't want to hear that, do you? You want to be seen, you want to be noticed. You want to walk into a room and have everyone look at you, admire you, envy you. You think that's power, you think that's success, but it's the exact opposite. Real power is invisible. Real power is silent. Real power is sitting in the corner of the room, unnoticed, while everyone else is peacocking around like fools. You're buying into the lie that you need a luxury car to prove you're successful. But the guy who owns that car, he's paying $1,000 a month in car payments while his bank account is bleeding dry. You think that's wealth? No, that's slavery. He's enslaved to the image he's created. He's chained to the payments, trapped by the illusion of luxury, and you want to be just like him. You think the guy driving the Ferrari is winning. But let me ask you, how did he buy it? Did he pay cash, or did he finance it? Is it owned or leased? Did he take out a loan at 15% interest just to flex on social media? Because if he did, he's not winning. He's losing. He's playing a game that's going to bury him in debt while you're sitting there thinking he's a god. Let me tell you something, the real players, the real winners, they don't care about showing off. They're too busy stacking cash, investing in assets, and plotting moves that keep them ahead. They don't waste their money on luxury because they understand that luxury is a trap that keeps you broke while pretending you're rich. They understand that every dollar spent on a liability is a dollar stolen from an asset. Every dollar spent on a flashy car is a dollar that could have been invested in a business. Every dollar spent on a designer watch is a dollar that could have been put into stocks, real estate, crypto, things that actually make money instead of just looking like money. You need to wake up. You're chasing the wrong things. You're trying to look rich instead of actually getting rich. Stop buying luxury you can't afford and start buying freedom. Because every dollar you spend on luxury is a dollar you can't invest, and every dollar you don't invest is a dollar you lose forever. You're burning money to look rich, and it's costing you a future. So what do you want, to look rich for a minute or to be rich for a lifetime? The choice is yours, but make no mistake, every luxury purchase is a chain around your neck, tightening with every payment, every interest fee. Every month you stay broke trying to keep up with people who don't care about you. And here's the thing, the people you're trying to impress, they don't even care. They're not paying your bills. They're not covering your rent. They're not going to bail you out when the credit card companies come knocking. They're not going to be there when you're drowning in debt, begging for a break. They don't care about you, they care about themselves. They're too busy trying to look rich to notice that you're going broke trying to keep up. You're playing a losing game, and you're the only one who doesn't see it. You're spending money you don't have to impress people who don't care about you, and it's killing you. It's killing your bank account, your future, your potential. It's killing your dreams of real wealth, real freedom, real power. You want to know what real power looks like? It looks like a guy who drives a basic car but owns 3 apartment buildings. It looks like a guy who wears a $50 watch but has $500 invested in stocks that pay monthly dividends. It looks like a guy who's invisible, the guy you'd never notice, the guy who's not showing off, the guy who's quietly getting richer every single day while you're out here playing pretend. So what's it going to be? You going to keep playing the game, chasing luxury, going broke? Trying to look rich, or are you going to wise up, get smart, and start playing the game to win? Are you going to keep buying things that lose value the second you drive them off the lot? Or are you going to start buying things that make money while you sleep? Wake up. Stop falling for the illusion. Stop chasing luxury. Stop playing their game. Build assets. Build wealth. Build a life that doesn't need validation from strangers on social media. Because the only thing worse than being broke is being broke and pretending you're rich. And that's exactly what most of you are doing right now. Playing a game you can't win, living a life you can't afford, trying to impress people who don't even notice you. Stop it. Stop it now, before it's too late, because every day you keep playing this game is a day you lose and the clock is ticking. Time is running out, and if you don't wake up, you're going to wake up one day with nothing but a closet full of expensive clothes and a bank account full of nothing. Wake up, get rich first, then and only then can you afford to buy luxury without the chains, without the stress, without the debt. That's the only way to win, and if you don't see it now, you're never going to see it. You know what the problem is? You're too busy chasing that luxury lifestyle while your bank account is screaming for help. You're out here buying $2,000 suit when you don't even have $2,000 saved. You're financing a car that costs more than your entire net worth. And you think that's winning. That's the fastest way to stay broke. Here's the truth they won't tell you. The real rich don't buy luxury first. They buy assets that pay for their luxury. They invest in cash, flowing businesses, stocks, real estate, things that make money while they sleep. You're buying liabilities that drain your bank account every month. You're spending money you don't have to impress people who don't care. You want that Rolex? Good. Go earn it first. Build a business, stack cash, and then let the business buy the watch. Don't put it on a credit card. Don't finance it. Don't play pretend rich. Because when the bills come due, when that monthly payment hits, reality is going to smack you right in the face. You're not rich because you own a Rolex. You're rich because you own assets that pay for the Rolex without touching your main income. But most of you can't wait. You need it now, right? You need to look like a big shot today. You're too impatient to build real wealth, so you settle for looking rich. And that's why you'll stay broke. You see, the people who are truly wealthy don't flaunt it. They're not out here buying things that lose value. They're stacking cash, investing in assets, and making moves that keep them rich. You're burning money to look rich. You're taking your hard-earned cash and throwing it into things that won't make you a single dollar back. Let me ask you, how many streams of income do you have? 1, 2, if you're lucky, but you want to spend like you've got 10. You're living on borrowed money, borrowed time, and borrowed dreams. You're playing a losing game, and you're the only one who doesn't see it. So here's what you do. Stop buying luxury until you can pay for it 3 times over. Stop pretending. Stop flexing. Stop living a lie, because the guy who looks poor but owns assets is always richer than the guy who looks rich but is drowning in debt. And until you understand that, you're going to stay trapped in the illusion of luxury, broke and bitter, wondering why you can't get ahead. Think about it. What's the point of owning a $10,000 watch when your net worth is $10,000? You're not rich, you're reckless. You're playing dress up with money you don't have, and you're doing it to impress people who don't give a damn about you. Think about it. You walk into a club wearing a Rolex, thinking you're the man. But the real man is the guy sitting in the back, sipping water, watching you blow your rent money on bottle service. He's watching you pretend while he's actually building wealth. You're out here buying luxury goods that lose value the second you buy them. That Rolex, it's worth less the moment you walk out of the store. That car depreciates the minute you drive it off the lot. Meanwhile, the real winners are buying assets that appreciate, assets that pay them every month, rental properties, dividend stocks, businesses that cash flow whether they work or not. You know why they're winning. Because they don't need to look rich. They're busy getting rich. They don't care about impressing you. They're not blowing their money on things that lose value. They're buying things that make money. They're investing in assets that grow, compound, and work for them even when they're asleep. But you're in love with the image. You're addicted to the illusion. You're spending money on things that won't pay you back: luxury clothes, fancy dinners, VIP sections at clubs. You're wasting cash trying to look like a boss while the real boss is out there wearing a $30 t-shirt and stacking cash like it's going out of style. Let me tell you something, you don't need a Rolex to prove you're successful. You need a bank account that doesn't flinch when the bills come in. You need assets that pay you every month without lifting a finger. You need to stop looking rich and start being rich, because luxury is a trap. It's a game designed to keep you spending, to keep you broke, to keep you chasing things that lose value instead of things that build wealth. You ever wonder why most lottery winners go broke? It's not because they don't have money, it's because they don't know how to use it. They get a windfall of cash, and the first thing they do is buy luxury. They blow it on cars, watches, designer clothes. They spend like they're rich, but they're not. They're just temporarily wealthy. And within a few years, they're back to being broke, worse off than before, because now they're addicted to a lifestyle they can't afford. But you're smarter than that. You're not going to fall for the trap. You're not going to spend your hard-earned cash on things that lose value. You're going to buy assets, build income streams, and let your money work for you. You're going to get rich first, actually rich, not pretend rich. And then, and only then, will you even think about buying luxury. Because when you're truly rich, you don't need to show it. You can buy the Rolex without a second thought, and it won't even make a dent in your bank account. You want to know how the real rich live. They're not out here blowing money on things that lose value. They're buying income-producing assets, stacking cash, and setting themselves up for life. They're buying properties that pay them rent every month. They're investing in businesses that print cash every quarter. They're putting money into assets that grow over time, not things that look good for a week, and then lose 50% of their value. You're playing the wrong game. You're out here pretending, faking it, flexing on social media, while the real rich are playing the game to win. And until you wake up and realize that, you're going to stay stuck broke, bitter, and wondering why you can't get ahead. Wake up, stop playing pretend, start playing to win, get rich first. Then and only then will luxury even make sense. Otherwise, you're just another broke fool playing a game you're destined to lose. You're caught up in the illusion, aren't you? You're drowning in this fantasy that luxury equals wealth, that designer clothes and flashy cars mean you've made it. You're out here pretending to be rich, while the real rich are out there stacking assets, building empires, and staying under the radar. But you can't see that because you're too busy chasing the illusion. You're financing a car you can't afford, wearing clothes you can't pay for, eating at restaurants that eat up half your paycheck. You're out here trying to look like $1 million while your bank account screams for mercy. You're playing dress up, playing pretend, trying to convince the world you're something you're not. But the real rich, they see right through you. They see your desperation, your need for validation, your hunger to look like them when you're not even close. You know why they keep selling you the dream? Because they know you'll buy it. They know you'll keep financing that car, keep swiping that card, keep going broke trying to look like you're not. They know you're hooked, addicted to the illusion, chasing a fantasy that's never going to come true. And every time you buy another luxury item, you're digging yourself deeper into that hole, making them richer while you stay broke. You think that $10,000 watch makes you rich. You think that $2,000 suit means you've made it. No, it just means you're stupid with money. It means you're spending money you don't have on things that don't matter. You're trading your future for a moment of looking good, for a few seconds of attention, for a bit of fake respect. Meanwhile, the real rich are out there buying assets that pay them every month. They're investing in businesses that print money while they sleep. They're stacking cash and letting it work for them, while you're out here working for every dollar and blowing it on things that lose value the second you buy them. Think about it, who's really winning? The guy leasing a Lamborghini with a $1,200 monthly payment, or the guy who owns the rental property that pays him $1,200 a month in passive income? The girl flexing her designer bag on Instagram, or the woman who owns shares in the company that made that bag? The man eating at the most expensive restaurant in town, or the man who owns a stake in that restaurant and gets paid every time someone like you comes in and drops a fortune on a stake? You're not playing to win, you're playing to look like you're winning. You're buying things that lose value instead of things that pay you back. You're spending money to impress people who don't care about you, who won't be there when the bills come due, who won't lift a finger when you're drowning in debt. You're living for the applause, the likes, the clout, while the real rich are living for freedom, security, and control. You know what's more powerful than a luxury car, financial freedom. You know what's sexier than designer clothes. A bank account that doesn't flinch when the bills come in. You know what's more impressive than a Rolex. A portfolio of assets that pay you every single month without you lifting a finger. But you don't want that, do you? You want the illusion. You want the shiny object, the quick fix, the temporary high. You want to look like a boss while you're out here working like a slave, trading hours for dollars, going broke trying to look rich. And that's why you'll stay broke, because you're too busy chasing the illusion to see the truth. You know what the real rich are doing while you're out here blowing money on nonsense. They're buying assets that pay them back. They're acquiring businesses that generate cash flow. They're investing in real estate that appreciates in value while paying them rent every month. They're buying stocks that pay dividends, bonds that generate interest, and intellectual property that prints money long after the work is done. But you're buying things that depreciate. You're buying things that lose value the second you swipe your card. You're buying liabilities that drain your bank account instead of assets that fill it up. You're playing dress up, pretending to be rich, living for the applause while the real rich are out there living for financial freedom. And here's the kicker, the real rich don't care about looking rich. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. They're not out here posting pictures of their cars, their clothes, their vacations. They're too busy making money to care about looking like they have it. They're too busy buying assets to waste time buying liabilities. They're too busy winning to care about looking like a winner. But you're playing a losing game. You're trading your future for a few seconds of looking good. You're sacrificing long-term wealth for short-term gratification. You're spending money you don't have to impress people who don't matter. And when the bills come due, when the credit card statement arrives, when the repo man shows up, you'll realize just how deep you've dug yourself into that hole. You want to win, stop playing their game. Stop chasing luxury. Stop blowing money to look like something you're not. Start investing in assets that pay you back. Start buying things that appreciate in value. Start stacking cash instead of blowing it. Start living below your means instead of spending every dollar you make. You know what happens when you stop caring about looking rich. You start getting rich. You start stacking cash, investing in assets, building streams of income. You start playing the game to win instead of playing to look like you're winning. You start making money moves instead of money mistakes. You start living for yourself instead of living for other people's approval. Because at the end of the day, the guy wearing the $10 shirt but owning $10 million in assets is always going to be richer than the guy wearing a $10 zero suit but drowning in debt. The woman driving a 10-year-old car but collecting passive income checks every month is always going to be wealthier than the girl driving a leased luxury car she can barely afford. The man who owns the rental property that pays him every month is always going to be more powerful than the guy leasing the penthouse he can't keep up with. So wake up. Stop playing pretend. Stop chasing the illusion. Stop blowing money to look like a boss and start investing money to become one. Because until you do, you're just another pawn in a game you don't even understand, a game that's designed to keep you broke, to keep you chasing, to keep you spending while the real rich sit back and get richer off your stupidity. Wake up, play to win, get rich first. Then and only then will luxury even make sense. Otherwise, you're just another broke fool pretending to be rich, and everyone who's actually rich can see right through you. The truth is simple. Luxury is a trap. It's a seductive mirage designed to distract you, to keep you chasing after things that have no real value, while the true path to wealth lies in the quiet accumulation of assets and investments. It's the game they want you to play, the one that keeps you in debt, keeps you working harder and harder for less, and keeps you forever feeling like you're missing something. But when you stop playing their game, when you stop wasting money on things that depreciate, you can start building wealth in ways that matter. You can start buying things that pay you back, assets, businesses, investments that generate real income and long-term wealth. That's the power of real wealth. It's the power of freedom. It's the ability to walk away from the grind when you choose to make money without breaking a sweat, to live life on your own terms. Stop chasing luxury. Stop living for the approval of others, for the applause that only lasts a moment. Start making decisions that will set you up for the life you really want. Start building a foundation of wealth that will support you and your family for generations to come. Real power isn't in the things you wear or the car you drive. It's in the freedom you create for yourself through smart, calculated decisions that lead to lasting wealth. The choice is yours. You can keep chasing the illusion of luxury, or you can step off the hamster wheel, start stacking cash, and invest in your future. Get rich first. Then and only then will luxury have real meaning. Because until then, it's just a distraction, a trap that keeps you from reaching your true potential. So wake up, play the game to win, stop pretending, and start building. The luxury will come, but only when you've done the real work. The game is rigged, but you can still win.